What is up, everybody? It is episode 35 of Origin PC Live. Let's do it. What is up, friends? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Origin PC Live. Here's a quick recap for the new viewers of the show. This is a show where we talk about the latest in gaming, geek news, what we're up to, and we chat it up with a special guest. This week's special guest is Richard Garriott and Starr from Portalarium Studios, the creators of Shroud of the Avatar. Speaking of Shroud of the Avatar, we'll be giving away 3 copies of Shroud of the Avatar in chat. My name is Alexis Roselle, community lead with Origin PC.
Woo! And I'm Jerica. I integrate stuff here.
Integrate stuff.
Stuff and things. Alright, so you guys can interact with us by posting in chat and making comments. We'll be watching for your feedback later on in the show. We'll be answering any questions you have, and we'll be announcing the Post of the Week winner who will be winning a copy of Shroud of the Avatar.
Boom! 4 copies of Shroud of the Avatar being given away. So by the way, those copies are being given away on Twitch, so for those watching us on Mixer, on Twitter, and on Facebook, if you want to join us during the guest segment for the giveaway, you're more than welcome to. So that's twitch.tv/OriginPC. So we also have some news about our St. Jude campaign. As you know, we're participating in St. Jude Play Live this year. As you can see up here, we have our bar up so you can donate to us already. But if you want to wait, we are doing a 24-hour live stream on May 25th. Jerica, yeah, it's only $5 so far. Jerica, myself, PJ, Crucian Gaming is going to be joining us, who should be in chat. He's actually going to be the one giving away those keys.
Team No Sleep.
24 hours, we're going to be building PCs, we're going to be playing games, we're going to be interacting with chat with various games, trivia, all sorts of stuff. We're going to be doing karaoke. They're going to be dyeing my beard red. We're going to shave it down to a mustache. That's why my beard's so long. I'm letting it grow for the charity stream. We're trying to raise as much money as we can for St. Jude, so please join us on May 25th. It's going to start probably, we don't have the exact time yet, I have to set up, so it's going to start around 9 to 10 a.m., and we're going to go all the way until 9 to 10 a.m. on Saturday. It's going to be absolutely insane. We're probably going to build like 20 desktops and 20 laptops and do a bunch of other crazy stuff. We're going to eat ghost peppers. We're going to eat a spoonful of G Fuel. It's going to be absolute bananas. And karaoke. No. You guys love karaoke, right? No. Jerica's going to do karaoke with us. As you can see, we have our Ultima Online Britannia map from the classic Ultima Online game to celebrate Richard and Starr being here today. So, with that lengthy intro, let's kick off the show, shall we?
Woo! Where are we? It's you, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
As soon as, So our first story is about some pre-E3 hype and reveals. Despite being leaked multiple times, Bethesda officially revealed Rage 2, a sequel that continues the post-apocalyptic theme from the previous game. The sequel is being developed in collaboration between id Software, creators of Doom 2016, and Avalanche Studios, creators of the Just Cause series and the Mad Max game. Bethesda promises more Rage 2 at their E3 showcase, and we're super excited. The next Battlefield is official, and it's called Battlefield 5. Trevor Noah will be hosting the reveal event next week. Yesterday, Activision took the stage and officially revealed Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The game will feature a revamped multiplayer mode, an expansive zombies mode including 3 maps, and a new Battle Royale mode, called Blackout. A single-player campaign wasn't mentioned, but the multiplayer and zombies mode will feature content that can be played by one person. What do you think about all these pre-E3 teases and reveals this week? Jerica, is there anything you're looking forward to at E3?
Battlefield. Hands down, for sure.
Battlefield looks pretty awesome. You think they're going to include a Battle Royale mode also to compete?
No.
You don't think they'll do it?
No.
You don't think they'll do it, or you don't want them to do it?
No, I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll throw some shade and be like, no, we don't need a Battle Royale game to be, like, you know, good. Or
oh, you think they'll throw shade like that? I don't know. They've never been one to do that stuff. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they also include a Battle Royale mode. It seems like it's gonna happen. If Black Ops is doing it, then I don't understand why they wouldn't. It's Battlefield V, not 5. Oh, sorry, it's Battlefield V. So I gotta say V. So I totally called that Black Ops 4 was gonna have a Battle Royale mode. Not surprised there. Rage 2 looks amazing, so very excited for that too. Excited for all these games. My E3 excitement goes to Red Dead Redemption 2, though, because that's all I can ever talk about these days.
Yeah. Well, mine is definitely anything that Kojima comes out with.
Yes.
So
that's going to be... I know they're definitely working on the Death Stranding trailer because we saw that hint in his previous tweet.
Give me more of that fetus, please.
Yeah, right? That weird fetus. All right, what's up next?
All right. For the next story, Microsoft unveiled a brand new controller designed for gamers with disabilities.
Very cool.
I know, right? It's
super sweet.
I'll just keep going. Called the Xbox Adaptive Controller. This marks the first time a major gaming company has attempted at creating a device to improve accessibility for those with disability.
Yeah, there you go. Talk like you mean it.
It can be equipped with different devices to register different button presses and inputs on the controller. The controller will be out later this year, and the price point is $100. What are your thoughts on this new controller?
I think that is such a cool thing for Microsoft to do. I mean, we've worked with a lot of disabled gamers that contact us just for help with setting up their systems and all sorts of things. So to see Microsoft going the extra step at doing something so they can play consoles again, because I mean, let's be real, a lot of them can't. They can't hold the regular controller, or they just don't have the capability to use it how it's supposed to be used. So coming out with something like this, it has so many different adapters and things that you can add to it to make it easier for them to game is just awesome. To be able to, it sucks to have to go through something like that and not being able to do something you love like gaming. So to make that much easier for them is an incredible move. Kudos to Microsoft. That's a huge thing. What do you think?
No, I think it's great. I mean, like, to kind of cater to basically what the capabilities for the person is to play. Like, I don't know. I think it's great.
I agree. I think it's really, really cool. So now for some Origin PC news. Our Aeon 15X gaming laptop is now equipped with a desktop class NVIDIA Force GTX 1080 GPU. What a beast. Previously, the Aeon 15X was only offered with the 1070 or the 1060, but now the 1080 is also available, so you can shed through the latest games on the go. This makes it our smallest and most powerful laptop that we currently offer. Our Aeon 17X and our Aeon 17 SLX can also be equipped with the 1080 if you require more screen space or other features. The SLX also features two 1080s in SLI. I don't know why.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know why either. What
do you think about this new Aeon 15X feature, Jerica?
Where am I? I think it's great.
XSplit's giving us a little bit of issues. That's why the transitions are slow.
I'm like, wow, what's going on? But yeah, no, I can't wait to like QA them and build them. I mean, the 15-inch laptops are definitely my favorite.
Yeah, same here.
They're
so
portable.
Right.
Yeah, that's like the SLX is kind of too big for me at least. But no, I'm super excited to like see what it does.
Yeah, me too. We're probably gonna do some sort of like benchmark or reveal stream in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But last time we did that was for the Aeon 15S when we launched it, and it was a ton of fun. Like Jericho was saying, the fact that it's so small and portable is awesome. And a 1080, like it is a desktop class 1080, so it's just as powerful as what you would find in your PC. And a 1080, even though the 1080 Ti and the Titan X are like the super high-end stuff, a 1080 is what I have at home, and I could run anything at well over 60 FPS. So being able to have that on your laptop that you can take with you for trips or events or business or vacations, whatever you want to school. Maybe you should be studying, but if you want to play games during class, you can. Really awesome. Congrats to our team. What's up with Geek News?
All right, so I'm gonna wait for the delay.
There it is.
Kicking off our Geek News is about a new project coming to Netflix led by Guillermo del Toro. I know, I'm like super stoked. I didn't even know about this until the other day. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Anyways, it's an anthology series called 10 After Midnight, which will be a standalone individual episodes of the horror variety, similar to how Black Mirror presents.
So cool.
Yeah. The premiere date hasn't been set yet, and we don't know how many episodes there will be. What are your thoughts?
I think that's so awesome. First of all, I love Guillermo del Toro. He's amazing. Everything that he touches is gold.
Yes.
I'm really, really excited to see something like this. I've wanted something like this, like reminiscent of like Tales from the Crypt back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt. So having like some sort of, even though that was like kind of cheesy horror, this might be, and if it is, I think it's going to be spectacular regardless, because
Are You
he
Afraid of
makes
the Dark?
really, really cool things. Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Nick at Night back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's going to be really cool. What do you think?
I'm super stoked. I love anything he does, like especially if it's horror related.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love, Pacific Rim and all that, but yeah, no, that sounds
guaranteed to be gory, probably. Really weird. I'm sure it's going to be some really off-the-wall horror stuff, which is awesome. What was that? What was that weird one he did with the little girl where the monster had the eyeballs?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, that's going to be really cool.
The one thing you remember.
Yeah. It was a good flick, though. All right, next for Geek News. So last week, several big-name TV shows were canceled by big networks. One of them was cop comedy Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Fox, which was one of my favorites. But fans on Twitter immediately began voicing their disappointment, and big name fans, including Lin-Manuel Miranda, Mark Hamill, Seth Meyers, Guillermo del Toro, and Sean Astin, took to Twitter to fight for the show. These guys also even made a group chat in honor of the show called #Guardians of the 99. In the midst of the Twitter storm over the cancellation, NBC stepped in and renewed the show for its 6th season. Fans and cast of the show rejoice at this last-second save. I think that's really, really cool. What do you think about this reverse cancellation of Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I'm kind of embarrassed. I haven't even seen a single episode.
It's so good.
Is
it's
it?
really funny, yeah. So when I first heard of it, I was kind of like hesitant. I saw the trailers. I'm like, I don't know if this is really my brand of comedy, and it is kind of that cheesy slapstick comedy, but they do it in a really good way. Like, the writing's awesome, the actors are really, really good in it. I think it's a really, really good show. It makes me laugh, like, way more than everything.
Yeah, I'm super hesitant with anything with Andy Samberg.
That's how I was, too. I was kind of like, Andy Samberg, I'm not, but this show made me a fan of his. Like, it's really that good.
Like, I heard there's a corgi in the show. That's all I know.
Oh, really? I haven't seen recently, but he knocks it out of the park, and so does the rest of the cast. It's a really, really funny show. I think that's so awesome. I don't think I've ever heard of something like this happening where another network picks up a canceled show, aside from Adult Swim picking up Family Guy, I guess. But that was like a cartoon show. That kind of makes sense. But another major, like NBC picking up something Fox dropped because fans were outraged, and the amount of star power. The amount of star power that came in to help them out is huge. I mean, that's really, really cool.
Yep.
Really awesome. Congrats to them. Can't wait to see what... I wonder if they're going to change anything up or if they're going to stick to the same writing crew. Same actors, obviously, but if they're going to have the same writers, same crew, because that kind of... Those little bits and pieces kind of make the show what it is. So I hope they kind of stick true to all that stuff. Okay, so up next is recent releases. Let's do it.
Wait, is there like a thing? Special shout out to Blue Microphones for this incredible mics that we're using on the show. I always forget.
I swear we're professional. I
always forget that there's
I swear that we know what we're doing.
I definitely don't.
Yeah. Blame her.
Oh, is it still mine? Oh.
Sure is.
Kicking off these recent releases is Lone Sales? Available on PC. I'm so freaking sorry. This is a vehicle adventure game where you travel through a barren post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, at least you said post-apocalyptic, right? I couldn't get that out.
With your vehicle. Solve puzzles along the way and maintain your vehicle during the journey.
This looks neat. Did it stop? Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there you go.
I wonder, like, is this what the game is? Oh, you're inside it. Okay. Oh, there's stuff going on inside. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I can dig something like that. I love anything post-apocalyptic, so count me in. Also releasing this week is The Forgotten Anne, available on PC and other platforms. It's a puzzle platformer with a hand-drawn art, which is awesome. I love that. Explore the Forgotten Lands as you solve puzzles and make crucial choices that can change the story. Very neat. I love the art style. That's a really unique take.
Yeah, this aesthetic is everything. It's like,
oh my god, it's like watching a cartoon. It's beautiful. Choose your path.
Kind of like Ni no Kuni in a way.
So this did come out, and it came out on PC. I might have to check this out this weekend. This looks really interesting.
I know, I'm like sucked in. Also, oh no, this is you.
No, you're good.
Okay. Finally, Omen Sight is available on PC and PS4. It's an action-adventure murder mystery game where you play as the Harbinger, who is trying to prevent the destruction of the world by figuring out mysterious murders via repetitions of the day the world is destroyed. Is this it right here?
That's it right there.
This also looks kind of cool.
Yeah, that looks really neat. I love that's cell shaded. That looks beautiful.
It's kind of like what is it, Wind Waker?
Yeah, a little bit like Wind Waker. Down to try that out. Excellent. Congrats to all these awesome titles for their launch dates. I know how difficult it is leading up to a launch, so you're finally out. Now rejoice and have everyone give you crazy reviews on Steam. Let's see what that's all about. So moving on to a blatant plug of the week. Boop, 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 boop. Doop, doop. Boop, beep, beep. Plop, plop. There it is. We'll get that fixed, I promise. So first, starting off with the May promo, you purchase any Aeon 15S laptop and you get free US ground shipping, a free upgrade to an Intel Core i7-7700HQ processor from an i5 CPU. That's huge. Free Intel Performance Bundle, free $60 code to Neverwinter, a $100 code to Try On Worlds, and a free digital Steam key for Shroud of the Avatar. Hooray!
Yay!
Also, when you purchase any desktop, you get free US ground shipping and all those digital titles as well. Our Bajira giveaway, our Extreme Intel Rig Challenge. All right. Extreme Intel Rig Challenge is still live. Don't forget you can vote for us to win this challenge. We're doing awesome things to you guys. Big thank you to all the votes. But to win this, well, actually, it's one of 5 $10,000 PCs. All you need to do is tweet out my hashtag Intel Rig Challenge vote is for @OriginPC. Or you can go to Twitter, find our pinned tweet. It should be our pinned tweet right now, and just retweet that. We post those every single day, so if you don't want to actually write out the tweet yourself, which is kind of silly of you, you can actually just go to our page and retweet it to make it. We made it simple. That's actually helped a lot. But every time you enter increases your chances to win this and other prizes, including Oculus Rift headsets. I believe the winners for this get chosen on June 17th, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe the 18th, and then they get announced shortly after by Intel. So stay tuned to all that social media. It's going to be awesome. You saw our system already from the pictures I've shown, but we're going to actually have a reveal video probably sometime next week or the following week. So stay tuned for that. The system is beautiful. I'm so excited to show it to you guys.
Yeah, it's super sexy.
Super sexy. Finally, we've teamed up with Corsair and Bajira to celebrate Bajira's inclusion to the Origin PC family. We're giving away a slew of Corsair peripherals. I love that headset stand. It is absolutely bananas. So all this stuff syncs up, all the RGB on the mouse, on the keyboard, on the mouse mat, and on the headset. And so all your RGB needs are met with this awesome bundle. You can sign up to this by going to originpc.com/Bajira. You can also, while you're there, check out the Intel Core i+ custom Bajira PC. So you can actually order the PC that Bajira got for his sponsorship. It is absolutely beautiful. If you're a fan of Bajira or World of Warcraft, chances are you'll really like the layout. So go check that out. originpc.com/Bajira. Sign up now. You have a few weeks to enter. Don't forget, we are doing St. Jude Play Live this year. You can actually find our Tiltify link, hopefully in chat. Maybe. Can someone link that in chat? Crucian, if you're there, link that in chat for the fine people. If anyone wants to donate during this show, every stream that we're doing, we will definitely call you out. We have all that set. So if you have it in your heart to donate to St. Jude for the St. Jude Play Live, or if you're going to wait for the 24-hour stream, we totally understand. But you can do it here now, and we'll give you a shout-out, and thank you so much. Also, 100% of our proceeds from our subscriptions go directly to St. Jude as well, but that's an always ongoing thing here at Origin PC. Everything we've ever done on this channel has been for St. Jude, whether it be subscriptions or donations. Like I always say, you're never required to do so, but know that if you do, it's going to a good place. You get all the sub-perks, you get all that neat stuff, and you're doing it for a good cause, for the awesome, awesome children in St. Jude. We just came back from the St. Jude Play Live Summit not too long ago, and it was an amazing experience. We've been raising money for St. Jude for quite some time, but to actually see where that money goes is remarkable. It costs about $35 a second to keep that place running, so they need every bit of help that they can get. The research that they do there goes worldwide. They don't withhold any of their discoveries. That goes around to any hospital. They've helped so many people around the world already, and the people that they help there at their hospital, the families of the children and the children themselves, the children and the families don't pay for anything. They get housing, they get free food, all sorts of fantastic stuff. They're incredible, incredible human beings. What they do over there is just astonishing, and it's really heartwarming to be there and experience it all, and we're very happy to be a part of it. So again, you can check out that link. Actually, it should be in our underlay down in the panel. You'll see the St. Jude Donate Now button. So if you want to do so, awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. But remember, we're doing our 24-hour live stream, so join us for that. We're going to have a lot of prizes and stuff to give away once we reach our goals. It's going to be an amazing event. Join us. We're actually, I forgot to mention this, NVIDIA and Intel both sponsored the event. So we're giving away, during that 24-hour live stream, we're giving away 2 Star Wars Titan XPs, GPUs. And we're giving away 2 8700K CPUs. So that's pretty rad. We're going to give away a bunch of Steam keys, including Shadow the Avatar, Conan Exiles, possibly some other stuff that I don't have locked in yet, but stay tuned for the digital game codes. We're going to give away a few ADATA SSD external drives. We're giving away a ton of stuff, and there's going to be a ton of crazy things going on. So remember, May 25th, 24-hour live build, karaoke, gaming extravaganza. Join us. It's going to be insane. Up next, it's Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat.
Yay. Does this have a thing?
All of them have a thing.
Yay. No, that's not true. Now it's time to talk about Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat, where we talk about the games we're playing. This segment is sponsored by Origin PC's Gear Shop, where you can buy your own Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat. Oh, you're not wearing it today.
I know.
Shirt.
I'm wearing another cool shirt, though.
Alexis, what are you Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeating?
I'm playing Skyrim for the upteenth time. I just recently reinstalled Skyrim just to mess around with it again. The remastered version, obviously. And last time, when I installed it, I spent about 3 hours modding it and about 15 minutes actually playing. But I got to play a lot yesterday, so that's pretty cool. But the game looks beautiful. I mean, especially with the mods. I love this game. It's such a rich RPG, and I'm a huge fan of it. What are you playing, Jerica?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm playing Rainbow
Have you tried it yet?
The
new stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
The new stuff on Siege.
Oh no, it's not out yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Next week.
Talk it up.
Yeah, no, I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Booyah.
Yeah, look at those new map, or that new map.
That looks really pretty.
Yeah. So they just recently announced the new, well, not the new season, but there's a new map and there's 2 new characters. Oh my god.
I love it.
I know, I kind of express, look at that Easter egg right there.
What was that?
It's Assassin's Creed Easter egg.
Oh.
Anyways,
neato.
So.
Are you going back to it?
Yeah,
look at that. Nice. Very cool.
So,
right above the fountain. I don't know if you guys see it in chat. Really cool. Nice
Everyone
catch.
needs to play this game, I think.
Nice catch. I never got into Rainbow Six. I mean, FPS games just in general, they're hit or miss for me. I like the single-player ones. I kind of wish this had a single-player thing like the other ones did.
This game's amazing.
But it's, no, I know. I see you playing it all the time. It's literally all you do.
I've been playing since...
this looks really good.
Since November. And, dude, it's been nonstop. It literally made me stop playing Overwatch altogether.
Maybe I'll check it out. It's the first game... We played it the first time together.
Yeah.
Right? Back in the day.
The beta, yeah.
Awesome. Well, congrats to them on their new stuff. Really cool. So up next is Check This Out.
Woo. That's all you.
Thank you to Elgato for providing the Stream Deck and a capture card in our streaming PC. So in Check This Out, we'll be talking about anything we've been checking out. This includes movies, TV, music, tech, gadgets, apps, software, etc. Jerica, what have you been checking out?
Deadpool 2. Which,
I
mean, it came out yesterday, but I'm probably going to go watch that today.
Yeah? What are you excited? So you haven't really checked it out.
No, I haven't checked it out.
Lies. Slander.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I've heard so many great things about this already. I'm trying, people have told me great things about it, but I'm trying to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, so I asked them not to tell me too much, but it looks really, really good. It's probably going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hilarious. What do you think of the first one? Obviously,
yeah, the first one's great. I mean, it was so good.
Yeah.
So funny. I mean, I hope this one's just as good, hopefully. So I think they changed, the writer or the director or something, but...
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Ryan Reynolds is hilarious, and he does such a good job. That was perfect casting for Deadpool. Okay, so my Check This Out is Echo Gear. So, if you've been paying attention to our social media, I've been ranting and raving about Echo Gear nonstop. They sent us some mounts for our stream room. So we have mounts, Echo Gear mounts anywhere. They're the best mounts I have ever tried, and I've tried a bunch. They're so smooth, they're sturdy, they're extremely affordable, they're fantastic. Shoot them a follow at Echo Gear on Instagram and Twitter, and make sure to check out their website. So not only have they given me that, but I also got this awesome stand-up charger for my desk that has like actual electrical ports and USB ports to charge all my things, and it's super cool. It even holds a phone in it. We have this awesome shelving that they gave us. Their power bricks, their power extenders or whatever they're called, are amazing. I wish I could show them to you guys now, but we'd unplug everything and it wouldn't be part of the show. But I highly recommend to check out their products. They're awesome. I don't want to cuss, but they're really, really good. Their mounts I'm just in love with. Like, I use them at home now. This first mounts that I've actually kept at my house, let's just say that. Normally my desk doesn't really fit all these sorts of mounts, or the ones I find are flimsy, and after a while just the monitor starts sagging on me. These are awesome. The movement range on them is incredible. Like I said, they're super sturdy, and the price, like, you can't really beat that. It's really, really good.
Is this one on there?
Yes, this one's on one right there, yeah. Again, huge shout out to Echo Gear. They're awesome. So now it's time for a short break. After the break, we'll finally be talking with Richard Garriott and Starr. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you worthy to journey on the path of the Avatar? Prove your mettle in a grand adventure by Lord British, the maker of Ultima. Join us, Avatar.
It is. Welcome back, and shout out to AMD for powering our streaming rig. It's time to talk with two gentlemen who kicked off my passion in PC gaming. Richard, Garriott, and Starr from Portalarium, creators of Shroud of the Avatar Forsaken Virtues, which has just recently launched on PC. Both Richard and Starr are video game developer veterans, thanks to their work across multiple titles, including the Ultima series and Ultima Online, to name just a few. These days, they have been working on the post-release of Shroud of the Avatar. This marks their second appearance on Origin PC Live. Thank you for returning to the show to chat. Gentlemen, how are you both doing this Friday?
Fantastic. It's exciting to be with you. I got to point out that not only I'm playing on my Origin rig that's above me, but I've got my Origin laptop to go right alongside my, early original Apple II that I wrote the first Ultimas on. So great from here in New York. How about you, Starr?
Doing great here in Austin, Texas, and glad to be on the show.
Thank you guys again.
Thanks for taking the time being on the show with us, and congratulations on launch of Shroud of the Avatar. We just had a couple of questions for you. How is the team?
Sure, fire away.
How is the team at Portalarium feeling now that Shroud of the Avatar is out of early access? Sorry.
It's pretty interesting for us. We decided really early on, while we were still in development, to do monthly releases, and we are just about to release our 54th monthly release. And so our launch out of early access was actually our 52nd monthly release. So in a way, moving from early access to launch was just another monthly release for us. And so we kind of had this weird feeling at our stand-ups right before we were going to launch of like, all right, well, it's just our 52nd time. But at the same time, really it is a big difference. And I don't want to belittle the fact that it was a huge deal for us to move out of early access and really start, expanding our audience and start telling more people about what we were doing, because up until now, it really has been word of mouth among our fans and our audience, people who've been following us since Ultima and Ultima Online. And so it's really an exciting time for us because it's a time where, now that we've been doing all this hard work to put the product together, it's now finally in shape enough that we can start really climbing to the top of the mountain and going, we're ready, come see us.
Yeah, and if I can add to that just a little bit too, Starr is being a little bit humble here with what it's taken to have now 54 coming up on our 54th monthly release. We've got this team now working so efficiently that literally those 54 releases have all been on time, within minutes, and the stability of the service has been literally effectively perfect. We've had a couple of hardware issues down through the years, but otherwise, it's been smooth sailing. And so we're very excited to now be in a mode where the marketing is starting to ramp up, and we're trying to bring in new players that hadn't been following us, as you've been saying. So very exciting times. But for us, we're just keep right on going, keep adding to it month after month.
That's awesome. So previously on the show, you mentioned that a majority of the development takes place in the last couple of months. Before launch. How was that like? But you're saying you do these monthly releases, so was it a little bit extra to do the launch, or was it just the same thing?
Well, yeah, the specific way I've tried to describe that in the past is that 80% of what the players see as the quality of the game goes in at the last 20% of what you're working on.
Right.
And what I mean by that more specifically is that the first 80% of your time is building subsystems, right? You have to get combat working and maps working and all the animation working and the schedules for NPCs working and the quest systems working. All the things have to work, but and you're putting in content as you're doing all that, but it's not until you get to that last 20% of the time do you sit down and go, okay, now let's see what we have. Now that all the tools are finally present, let's go back to those things we did first and kind of bring them up to date with the systems that weren't available in that early days. And let's make sure that we, punctuate all the high points in the story with events that take advantage of all the bells and whistles and tools that we have, and the tools that came on last. You have to go back and kind of repopulate that through the whole game in places where it was missed. And so, I really think of it that what a player would perceive as quality, makes a big hockey stick at that last 20%. And so yeah, that was a very exciting time, and not only exciting, but I also think it's where you know, a game will either sink or swim in the long run.
Sure.
You know, if you cut it off, if you ship it before you get a chance to do that last 20%, then the players can really tell, and you've kind of thrown away a lot of the value you've created for the intervening years before that. And you know, and I've had the unfortunate times in my past where we've been forced out the door prematurely and suffered for the consequences. In this case, we had a great set of backers who kind of stuck with us through thick and thin, and in fact, they were part of the process. They were part of the saying, don't ship too early. Let's keep going, and they were part of the focusing in on this date as the time where now we think we all agree it's ready. Let's get it out the door.
That's awesome. It's so great. I mean, your community, I think I mentioned this in the last show too, they're just incredible. And the fact that you guys are so receptive to their feedback is astounding. So congrats.
So
thanks.
How has the community feedback been post-launch? You kind of like...
Yeah.
It's been really good. We have one of the most responsive and supportive communities I've ever worked with, and one of the most productive communities. So they're literally every single day our community is doing something in the game, whether it's they're putting on a play, they're running a quest that they've designed, they invented a sport in our game called Gust Ball, where they use this magic spell in the air magic school called Gust, where it started off that one player would volunteer to be the ball, and then they realized they could use pets to do that, to be the ball, but they were using cats and dogs, and that was a little disturbing to watch a sports game where they were pushing. So then we made them a pet that looked like a ball. But then they have like a league, and there's tournaments,
wow.
And they use this in-game radio to broadcast it and do the sports announcements and everything. We're going to make them uniforms in the next couple of releases,
wow,
so they can.
Amazing.
But I mean, literally every day, there's a whole player organization called the Hospitalers, where that's devoted to helping new players, and they hang out in all the newbie areas and they hand out free stuff. As new players log in, they hand them like gold and potions and help them run the quests in the game. I mean, it's really, really incredible. And then the amount of bug testing they do for us and bug reporting, it's really, really incredible. And they give us critical feedback too. They tell us when we're going wrong, and they help guide us and fix stuff. And we've got a QA version of the game of Release 54 on the QA server right now, and they're helping us test it this weekend and give us feedback before it goes live on the 31st. And it's been really, really good in helping us guide it. And a lot of times we'll announce, we announce each quarter what we're going to do for the next 3 releases, and we'll change what's going to come up in those releases based on what the community tells us is working and what's not working. And we'll gladly delay a feature if we think there's something more important to work on based on what the community is telling us. So we'll rebalance stuff, move stuff around based on that community feedback.
And something Starr didn't say too is, things like that radio headset and things that he was talking about in the game.
Yeah.
The community created a lot of that stuff. The radio stations, other things, they do. They even do Sidekick Apps. I'm running the NBNN, the New Britannia News Network app that includes things like the Hospitalers and events and radio channels and all this kind of stuff. They create these apps themselves. So the community is super active, far beyond just playing the game.
Yeah, the map system in our game was originally written by a player as an external website application that we then acquired from that player. So we bought it from them and then incorporated it in the game.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. It seems like the community is really giving you more, adding more to the game than what you originally intended for it. So that's incredible. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the in-game radio. I think that's one of the coolest features. That's one of the first things I discovered that I was like, what? Like it's actually broadcasting player-made radio stations, which is insane. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things you guys do in Shroud of the Avatar is you host dance parties in-game. For example, a couple weeks ago, you held an in-game dance party to celebrate Release 53. When did that idea come about, and how are those like?
Well, it's actually tied to what we were just talking about, which is the radio station. So one of our players who goes by the character name Amber Rain, she started a web radio station called Avatars Radio, and it started off broadcasting music, but then they also started doing things like plays, and then she created a Church of the Dark Star. Dark Star is my character that talked about chaos and the virtues and things like that. And she would have a sermon every Saturday that broadcast on this radio station. And one of our players commented that you could write a Unity plugin that could stream a web radio station. And wouldn't it be cool if that plugin was tied to a physical decoration that you could place in your house? And we're like, oh, that's an interesting idea, but that wouldn't be something that we should devote some of our money and schedule time to. But if you wrote that plugin and you actually built the art object, we would totally incorporate that into the game. And so they did. Like they wrote the plugin. They built the asset, and we put it in the game, and then it just sort of exploded from there. Now there's like 2 main radio stations. There's a sort of news network, and then there's more of a music and arts radio station, and then that's what the music one has a whole set of DJs. There's I think like 14 DJs now that basically broadcast full time, and I'm one of the DJs now. They convinced me to start DJing, and I now do the DJ. I'm the DJ who DJs the release dance parties, and I've now found this new obsession for myself. I'm totally obsessed doing this DJ stuff.
And I have to throw another comment there about, again, start being a little bit humble in that they asked us both to DJ, and we sort of put together playlists. And I look at my playlist and I look at Star's playlist, and I'm going like, no one would actually come to my dance party. But on the other hand, Starr actually puts on a kickin' dance party in the game, and so they're actually extremely popular. But what's also interesting about those dance parties, though, that you didn't mention there, Starr, is that for us, it is also, one of the things we started it for is, or it quickly evolved into, is an important part of our testing procedures, because we actually need to, with each version we release, we need to kind of give a stress test to it to see, how is it going to act in the worst possible conditions, with us observing, with everybody on deck, kind of observing it and putting all of our probes into it to see what's going on. Brilliant. And so the dance parties have become that moment also. And so you can sort of you can kind of tell what the next week is going to be like based upon how the game is performing during the dance party on Thursday or Friday. Because if the game crawls to its knees with the crush of people, that means the next week is going to be people going in and trying to extract what happened in the flow of the render pipeline, for example, to get that fixed up.
Yeah, because it's kind of our worst case scenario performance-wise, because we have this incredible decoration system, and also combined with like time of day and lighting system where every light can turn on and off and cast shadows, and a time of day system, and players can decorate everything. So in their play your own town and their house itself, and the towns can have literally hundreds of houses, and every house can have thousands of objects in it. And so these parties happen in these towns where there's tens of thousands of little decoration objects and thousands of lights, and then everyone's in a custom outfit, and we have hundreds of wearables, and then we have hundreds of custom animations. We sort of set this crazy goal of like, we're going to have more custom animations than any game ever. So there's all these different dances and emotes, and then like you can breathe fire and flowers and like rain spiders, and so everyone's doing these crazy animations on the dance floors and shooting fireworks, and so it's a great performance test. So like Richard said, it's really so it doubles as yeah.
That's fantastic. Off the top of your head, can you recall which is the biggest one you've done so far?
Definitely the one we did at release.
Yeah.
And it was so big that we ended up, so the way our game works is everyone plays on a single server. So we don't have servers or shards. Everyone plays on one server. And then what happens is when each scene has a limit of how many people can be in a scene. So right now, the max per scene is 128, and that's just based on current performance. But as we do optimizations, we're going to increase that number. At the release, we ended up having to and when a scene reaches its limit, we instance out a copy of that scene. But the scene shares all of the data. So if your house or your shop is in that scene, there's a copy of that scene in every instance of that. So for the launch dance party, we ended up having to make 3 copies of the party because there were so many people. And so I was in one scene, and then Richard went to another to host the other scene, and then we ended up having to spin out a third one because we had I think like 300 and something people at that party.
And normally the way the game operates is people can't usually tell because we forced friends into the same scene. And so, the way we articulate it is that you think about being on the streets of New York, how many strangers do you need to see on the street before you go, yeah, I'm in New York and I can see all my friends and there's a whole bunch of strangers. And but in the case of dance parties where they're here to see one of us, that's the kind of suddenly they go, oh, but we kind of need to be in all of these at once so that people can find us. So it's again, another one of those interesting stress test moments across the service.
Yeah, the only other one that was that big was when Shooter Jennings had his album release for Countach in the game. And that was crazy as well. That was the same problem where, we had to instance out like 3 different copies. But of course, everyone wanted to hang out with Shooter because it was his album release party. And so we were trying to figure out ways to get him to move from copy to copy to see everybody. And that was insane.
That's so cool that he did that. I was at one of your dance parties that I can recall. I believe you guys were doing, it was a holiday one, and you were doing an actual holiday event at Portalarium offices at the same time, and that was quite the experience. Everything they're describing, it's so cool. Everyone's in there having a good time. They're all chatting. There's music pumping. Everyone's doing a different sort of dance. So you're right. The animations were just insane. It was really cool. And coupled with that, everyone was kind of on a voice chat together and talking to each other. It was really fun. It was really one of the most community-driven in-game events I've ever experienced in my life. So.
Well, what you guys as gamers recognize the following, just as a general platitude about online culture, which I think that we're celebrating as well as anybody has done previously, or hopefully a little better, which is that, friendships that are made online often started online, but they are real friendships, and those real friendships, people will often then go try to find a way to, if you happen to be in the same city for a convention, or you live in the same city, or for whatever the reason is, you can choose to or find yourself in the same cities, seek each other out and go have a beer or something together, and just to see shake the person's hand in the real world in addition to the virtual world. And so we actually think that people, not only is that just a natural tendency to want to do anyway, but we actually think that it's beneficial for the community to have met in the physical world, because it sort of deepens your social connection to each other and through the game. And so we actually encourage and celebrate and reward that behavior. And so when people come, whether it's to our offices, or like I just went to a meetup event here in New York City last month, where just a bunch of players got together, and they happened to be in New York City, and I was in New York City at the time, so I went and joined them at that same thing. And so whenever a group of our community gets together, not only do we, of course, have a good time in the physical real world, but then we give everybody who's come together and met a cloak, a virtual item in the game that marks that real world event.
That is cool.
So that when they're in the virtual world, they can go, oh yeah, we've met. We're wearing the same community cloak from that same event, which means, we've met in the real world also. And people are very proud to have these, kind of collections of, I've met up with my other real friends from the virtual world in the real world on, 10 occasions, and here's my 10 cloaks.
It's really cool.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to play.
You should. We'll play together.
Yeah, now we
join
can
us.
cloaks.
Yeah.
Aside from dance parties, there was a special event a couple of days ago called Charge of the Dragons that had dragons fly around for players to fight. How was this event conceived, and are there plans for more events?
Yeah, so that was a new event that we tried out. So we have a great publishing partner, company called Travian Games. They're based out of Munich, Germany, And the community manager there, Raider, he's actually the one who, working with our community manager here, Barrick, they worked on that plan and conceived that and executed it. So we have a bunch of different dragons who are, as you imagine, boss level creatures in the game that take a group of players to take down. And normally they're in specific locations in the game that you have to go to. But in this case, what we did was we had them appear in player-owned towns, which they don't normally appear unless we summon them there. But what we would do is we said they're going to they're going to start attacking player-owned towns. And that's all we said. And we said they're going to attack player-owned towns on the following dates, but then we didn't say which town it would be until like right beforehand. And then players had to sort of scramble to like organize and meet there. Because if you tried to like attack it by yourself, I mean, he's just going to destroy you. So they would have to organize and group up. But it was amazing. We had a ton of players show up. I mean, it was to all of them. And players had a great time. And what's cool about fighting the dragons is you have a chance when you fight the dragon. I mean, they drop a bunch of loot, but the thing that most players are trying to get when they kill the dragons is a dragon head, because if you get a dragon head, which they're rare that they'll drop, but if you get a dragon head, you can turn that into a trophy that you can mount on your wall. Awesome. And those are pretty rare. And so if you have a dragon head on your wall, that you know that you killed a bunch of dragons. So
awesome.
Players go out and try to kill dragons, which are hard. They get a lot of death, and death like wears down your armor and your weapons, and so you're paying a lot of money to keep up your gear to like kill dragons. And so players were excited that they were going to get to kill dragons. So
they're definitely not a monster you can solo, dragons, right?
I think there are a very, 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 very small number of our top players who can solo a dragon, but I mean, I think it's like I can count on one hand.
Oh wow!
Some of our elite players who can solo a dragon, but like, I mean, like I think it's like 3 players in our game who can solo a dragon.
We keep thinking we're building spaces that no one literally can solo. I mean, we literally ratchet them higher and higher, presuming no one can do this.
Right.
Because for us, we can't do it. Even cheating, we often can't do it, and then we find some player that can do it. So we're constantly raising that limit higher and higher.
Which is how it is in every game. Like you build something that you think is absolutely impossible. Like we have this place called the Challenge Dungeon that we built, which was supposed to be this ever escalating like round after round after round of like wave battles that we were like, oh, no one's gonna ever finish this. And then like within a few weeks, people were doing speed runs through it. And we thought it was something you couldn't finish. And the people were just doing speed runs. Like, oh, I can do it in like 5 minutes. It was like, oh my God.
That's hilarious. So looking back at Shroud of the Avatar, going from the Kickstarter project it was to a launched product, are there things you guys might have done differently, or were there things that worked out really well?
That's a great question. I think the things that worked out really well are the things we've already been talking about the whole time, I think, which is the community aspect of it. I think that, what's really exciting about doing a crowdfunded project and working with the community is you get to test out ideas as you're developing them versus sort of this, you don't find out till you're done and it's kind of quote too late. So that's a really exciting and powerful. I think the one challenge for crowdfunding is you have to say exactly what you're going to do right at the beginning, and then you're kind of committed to that, and you don't really get to change your mind or edit that much. And so I think that's a big challenge for all crowdfunded titles. But I think that's really my basic summary there.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that too. I would also, throw on that same front. We wouldn't exist if the crowdfunding model, didn't also come into existence at about the same time that we started this product. But we often are asked, what do we think about other people starting down this model? When will it work or when will it won't? Or is crowdfunding the next big thing, or is it dead, or somewhere where in the middle is it? And we kind of think of it in the middle. You know, the things that we think can go well and did go well for us is when you have something that's either extraordinarily new and or extraordinarily nostalgic. And since we have the long history of making role-playing games and innovating in massively multiplayer types of games and storytelling games and virtue games, you know, we already had sort of a following that worked well for us. But I think that for others to go into crowdfunding, unfortunately, you know, the difficulty level of even doing something in crowdfunding has gone up, just like it has put something in retail or you know, almost on the App Store. You know, almost any way you go, slowly gets you know, competition kicks in, and the winners take more of the share, and it's harder to get in at all.
Yeah, right on.
Can you give us a sneak peek at or an idea of what's next for Shroud of the Avatar and Portalarium?
Oh yeah, so we have a bunch of cool stuff coming up. So like I said, we've got release 54, which is coming up at the end of the month. So we do monthly releases, and they come out the last Thursday of the month. So May 31st is our next release, and that's going to have some performance improvements. It's going to have 3 new scenes in it. We've made some improvements to the companions. That's in our offline mode. So viewers who don't know much about Shroud, we actually have 2 completely separate modes for the game. You can play offline, where you're not even connected to the internet. So if you want to play as a single player, pure RPG mode, you can play that way. And in that mode, you have companions that go along with you. And so we made a bunch of improvements to their behavior. Then we have these virtue effects on items, where basically how good or bad you are determines what the item does for you. Cool. And so each release we added that effect last release, and each release we've been adding that effect to more and more items. And so it's fun to watch people try to game that system. Yeah. You know, as they try to be good or bad to see what the items do. Got more side quests coming up. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up around Gamescom. So we're going to be doing we're going to be actually over at Gamescom in August. Awesome. So we're going to have a bunch of promotions going on around there. A bunch of cool stuff we're going to be doing with PvP around castle defenses and other stuff that I can't quite talk about. Super secret stuff.
That's exciting.
And unicorns are coming up next release. I can't wait for those. And speaking about being good or bad, if you kill a unicorn, it's really, really bad for your virtue. But
makes sense.
Even better.
But you can make really amazing weapons and consumables out of unicorns. So,
Yeah.
Don't do it, players. Players of good virtue will not do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's also interesting that you know, that same 80-20 rule that I said during the last 20% is when most of the quality goes in. You know, that's so for the next few months. That's also the way people are going to start. Or I believe we're going to see the next few releases. Things appear much bigger than they have been in previous releases, just because all the systems are present, and so it's relatively speaking easy for the team to really do, you know, really super good content. You know, after Gamescom, we're gonna be switching modes again and start thinking about new content, new features, and so then you know, the work will start again from a team standpoint to implement a new round of core features for us to take advantage of in the next round.
For episode 2.
You know, now that we were talking about this, it made me curious. I'm wondering if you guys have any analytics in the game, or if you know off the top of your head how many players are good players versus the evil ones.
We do. You know, I don't have that at my fingertips. Do you, Starr? We actually track that very carefully.
Yeah.
There's probably a Kibana database we could pull up and show it here. But what I find funny about answering that is we have plenty of players who have chosen the dark side, so to speak. But what's funny is some of them choose the dark side on purpose, meaning they really do want to be an evil character.
Right.
But there's also a fair number of people that get there on accident. And I'm going to throw the Deco Divas under the bus for this one, which is a couple of players of ours who are often called upon by other players to help decorate their houses and their castles and other things. You know, if you buy a big house or a big castle, it takes a lot of work to go in and decorate it. And I don't just mean the creative work of deciding where all the paintings and tables and chairs need to go. but you actually have to go acquire all those paintings and tables and chairs. And a lot of those things you can craft and make with in-game resources. A lot of those things you can buy off of vendors through the game. But what people had learned early on is there's another way to get a lot of these mundane decoratable objects, which is to go into towns around the world and just steal the stuff. And so the deco divas, who think of themselves as very good, helpful, positive people, would go around and just steal all over the place to get all the supplies they needed to come over and help somebody decorate their house, thinking they were doing this very good service, despite the fact that NPCs in the houses they were stealing from would chime in and go, "Hey, quit stealing my stuff," and occasionally guards would come and thunk them on the head and find them. So despite the warnings, we have some very well-intentioned people who have found themselves on the very foul side of the law from a virtue standpoint.
But most people are good, actually.
Yeah, most people are good.
The stats show that most people are on the good side.
It's a 50-50 split here. She always plays the evil characters. I always play the good.
It's more fun being bad, I feel. I don't know.
You know, another funny little anecdote about that is that whenever you finish any of the games we've ever created, going all the way back to the very first game I made, actually the Ultima predecessor called the Calibeth, when you finish the game, the last message of the game is always, "Hey, please report your feat to Richard Garriott or Lord British at, wherever I was at the time." The first one was at my parents' house in Houston, with the address. And so I've been sending out completion certificates for people who finished our games since the very beginning days, and I still do that to this day. And what I tell people now, since there's more ways to communicate than just snail mail, is in whatever way I am reached, I will respond. So if you send me a letter, I will send you back a written certificate and hand signed. Awesome. And if you send me an email, I'll send you an email, a tweet for a tweet, et cetera, in-game communication, whatever it might be. A lot of them come through Discord. I was doing some today. But what that means is that for everybody who gets their Shroud in Shroud of the Avatar, they get that message and they will quite commonly reach out to me. So maybe half a dozen times a day, I am responding to people who have finished the game, and they include a screenshot which shows me whether they have a white Shroud or a black Shroud. And so I sort of get this informal poll of at least those people who are willing to reach out to me as to what it is. And I would say it's, by that anecdote, it's 95% white Shrouds, the good, virtuous Shrouds. But it also could be the people earning dark Shrouds just don't want to confess and, are hiding themselves from me. We'll have to look at the Cabana statistics to know exactly.
Sure. That was going to be my next question. So since the days of Ultima, you've been personally congratulating players on reaching the end of their quests. I think you spoke about this in your book, but can you shed some light for the people? How did that idea come about? When did you start on this?
Well, it actually, I'd be hard pressed to actually say why the thought crossed my mind in the very beginning. It was, I was literally a teenager. But as soon as I got a letter back from somebody who actually completed the game and wrote in, I was going like, oh, this is a really good idea. Because, if you think about the old days, I mean, now with online games, we can go in and play beside the players and see them having fun or see them not having fun. And you get an immediate feedback as to whether somebody liked your art or not and what they liked about it or not. In the old days, in the early days of retail packaging, the only clue you had as to if people liked it at all was how well it sold. And you really had no idea why it sold or didn't sell because, you had no other communication with the person who purchased it, and you rarely, if ever, saw anybody playing it live, except when people began to write in, often because you asked them to. And suddenly I realized that was not only fun for hopefully both of us, but also was an important moment to kind of go, oh, now I see how people are playing it and what they like or don't. And in fact, that is the root reason why the word avatar exists in the pantheon of gaming culture is because of this issue. It was after Ultima 3, and people began to write in, and I'd start getting mail at Origin, where suddenly I saw much more of this since it was coming to my own house and my own company. Right. And I realized that the players who I thought were being upstanding citizens in order to kill the bad guys that I was putting in the games, what they were really doing to get there was lying and cheating and stealing and pilfering for every shop and killing every NPC and really min-maxing the game to see what the fastest way they could become powerful to beat the bad guy was. And the bad guys, at the same time, in not only my games, but most games, really aren't doing anything bad. They're sort of just waiting there for you in the final level to become powerful enough to come kill them. And I thought, okay, this is, that's not really the game I thought I was making. And so that's when I started saying, I'm going to write games about virtue. They're going to monitor your behavior and reward or punish you appropriately, like hopefully the real world does to some degree.
Right.
And that's also why I said it has to be you in that body, not your alter egos. I mean, if you're playing Conan the Barbarian, you should be expected to be the roguish thief. But if I want you to prove that you're a person of virtue, I need to make sure it's you, not your alter ego. And that's when I picked up the Sanskrit word avatar from Hindu faith and used it to, the original word avatar is the incarnation of a deity on earth in human form. And so I thought, oh, that's what you are. This
right.
is your manifestation in my world. So it is your avatar.
Very cool. Very cool.
You're gonna look for me in this game. It's gonna be terrible.
We're gonna play together.
Can we play together if he's good? If I
Yeah,
you can play together.
Totally.
You can play together. Just watch out. And don't forget, if you play evil, then don't forget this game. The whole point of these kind of moral stories, these ethical parables that go into there, is to sort of seduce you into the dark side, and then show you the ramifications of perhaps some short-term gain for some long-term pain. So just beware the consequences.
Funny story going back to that. So back in Ultima Online, I was a virtuous player from beginning to end. I was much younger then, obviously, but I made this. It's funny. It's like it mimics real life. I made a group of friends who led me astray and took me to the dark side. And after being for years of being a good player, towards the end of it all, this character that I worked so hard on, I was always out killing PKs and hunting down the red characters. I myself became red, and then I couldn't go back into towns, and I was so sad. I remember being young and being like, oh, no, I can't really have to start a new character from the rip if I want to go back to towns. I would still spend time at the altar praying this sin away. That was so great, though.
Try to get forgiven for your sins.
Yeah, forgiven for my sins. Go ahead.
All right. Besides Shadow the Avatar, is there anything you're currently playing, watching, or reading?
Let's see. So, finishing up PreE by my friend Rafael Colantonio.
Oh, very cool.
Been playing a little bit of Fortnite just to see what the kids are doing. Playing the latest expansion, Elder Scrolls, the Morrowind expansion.
Oh, very nice.
I still play Fallout 4. I just keep it was funny. I was watching the stream earlier, and you were saying we went back to Skyrim. So mine is Fallout 4. I just keep I keep going back to Fallout 4.
Fallout 4 is another one. I'll return to that one quite often as well.
And then on my phone, I've been playing this little puzzle game. It's actually an old puzzle game, but I've been playing it with my daughter. It's called Slice.
That's so.
I picked that one back up again just the other day myself. T-Star, you're the one that turned me onto that one.
Yeah, it's like these little razor blades that will slice your finger if you don't move them out of the way right. Mm-hmm. It's really fun and horrible too, and it's something you should not play with your. I haven't thought about play with your 7-year-old daughter where blood spurts everywhere, but it's perfect. And then TV shows, watch it, and Legion, which if you're not watching Legion, it's like literally some of the best visual art ever made. The Expanse, Billions, Silicon Valley, The Terror, which The Terror was amazing, and the show is amazing, but a real downer, like you've been warned, like super downer. And Westworld, and then reading, I'm reading a book by Alastair Reynolds called Poseidon's Wake. It's a space opera. And then I just am about to reread the Thomas Covenant fantasy series, Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever, which is this great epic fantasy series, because I just found out there's like a third trilogy in the series. I read the first 2 trilogies, but there's now like a third trilogy, and so I got to go read the first 2 again. first 2 trilogies so I can read the 3rd trilogy because I don't.
Makes sense.
Anyway, so that's my list.
So Expanse is one
Starr
that just
is a much broader consumer than I am of creative content. I've although I share the Westworld
Westworld's great.
joy by all means, and I also do a lot of my gaming on mobile devices just because that's what I find practical for my lifestyle. And in addition to Slice, which is sort of picked back up, I like the other simple puzzle games like Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2, those sort of things that are kind of unusual, mind-bending little puzzle things like The Room and kind of other things you can take at your own pace and just kind of noodle through. But and then of course I get a lot of my inspiration from travel in the real world. So I just finished an expedition to the North Pole actually. In fact, a month ago yesterday, I was standing at the geographic North Pole with my 2 young kids, aged 3 and 5, who are now the youngest folks who have ever been to the North Pole.
Wow, amazing! That's incredible.
That's wild.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, we at our stand-ups we had to say, oh yeah, Richard couldn't be here because he was at the North Pole. We get to say stuff like that at our stand-ups.
People were like, yeah, I'm sure I heard that before.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, that is it. Thank you so much. An incredible job as always. Tell people where they can get Shroud of the Avatar, how they can join your community. I think you have a Discord channel as well. Maybe they could join up in there and learn more about the game.
Yeah, so you can go to shroudoftheavatar.com and there's a free trial. And there's no time limit on the trial. You can play as long as you want. And so you can download that free trial there. And if you like the free trial, you can pay to play the game from there. Or we're also on Steam. So you can check us out there. We're also on Discord. We have a Shroud of the Avatar Discord channel. You can join. The community is super helpful. As we mentioned, they can answer all your questions. We're on Discord. We're on the forums. I'm literally on the forums every single day. You can PM me on the forums. I will answer it. If you're in the game, you send a friend request to either me or Richard. We will accept your friend request. We literally accept every friend request.
That's awesome.
Same in Discord. If you send us a friend request, we will accept it. So join us and check it out. It's free trial, so can't be free.
And whether that means you're going to play as a virtuous character or as a chaotic character or an outright evil character, come on in. Join us. The water's fine.
Join us this weekend because I'm going to be playing. I think we've convinced Jerica to play as well. So anyone that's watching, feel free to DM me as well. You guys all have my contact info. We'll jump on Shroud of the Avatar together. Thank you guys so much for being on. Make sure to follow Richard Garriott at Richard Garriott on Twitter and Starr Long at Star_Long on Twitter as well. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That is it. A big thank you to those guys. And before we move on to the next segment, there's a little streamception going on there. Before we move on to this next segment, we had some donations roll in that I want to thank. One that just came in recently, I think, that we haven't gotten on the screen yet. So if you could check that, Lewis. Larry Darren with a $10 donation for the kids of St. Jude. Thank you so much, Larry. And Special Top 11 with a $20 donation. That is huge. And we just had a recent one come in, Paradoxify, I think. Yes, with a $2 donation. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that's donated so far. That means a lot. A big thank you to Richard Garriott and Starr Long for coming on the show and talking Shroud of the Avatar and all sorts of awesome stuff. I love those guys. It was an absolute honor to have them on the show again. Moving on, next is Ask Origin PC. Hopefully you've been asking questions in chat. If not, ask them now, because we are going to answer them.
Where are the questions at?
Oh, and hopefully people won some copies of Shroud of the Avatar in chat as well. Crucian, did you do those giveaways? Are you there? If you did, congratulations! Big congrats to you guys, and those that just got the game can join us this weekend as we play Shroud of the Avatar together.
Join me being bad.
Join me being good. Join me trying to hunt down Jerica. First question comes from Dougie Fresh. Why would I want to go from the Millennium to a Genesis if the Millennium is so good itself? Fantastic question. Why do I need more memory? Why do I need more fans? That's always a question. So, totally dependent on you. So the Genesis and the Millennium is the same case. The Millennium gets converted into the Genesis by adding the lower expansion bay. That lower expansion bay can house more radiators, and it could also house hard drive bays. Now, why would you need any one of those? So if you're doing liquid cooling in your system, we always go with the Genesis because you can house two 360 radiators down there, which keeps the liquid cool. So radiators are needed to keep the liquid cool, to keep your CPU, GPU, motherboard, whatever it is your liquid cooling cool. So the more, the better. We added that expansion bay to give you two 360 radiators, which obviously offer the most cooling. You get another 360 radiator up top and a 120 in the back, giving you the most optimization for the best amount of cooling for any cryogenic hardline or just standard cryogenic system. Now, if you're a video editor or a content creator that's constantly recording a ton of footage, especially high definition stuff, 1080p to 4K, the extra hard drive space and the extra hard drive storage is amazing. Like, it's something you need because it houses up to 20, I want to say, or something insane like that. When it's SSDs, it's even more. So the amount of hard drive storage you can get by just doing hard drive bays in a Genesis system is integral. So the Genesis isn't for everyone. Obviously, it's our super tower. It's a big, humongous system. But if you're doing any sort of cryogenic cooling, or if you need that extra hard drive space, highly recommended. So that's why you do. I hope that lofty answered your question.
Also, isn't Genesis only hardline, right?
No, they can do soft tubing as well.
No, I know, but like you can't get hardline on a Millennium.
Right, you can't get hardline on Millennium. So if you want hardline liquid cooling as well, which is the beautiful hard tubes that are for liquid cooling, you can only do that in Genesis. Another question from Icarus Group. OrigInBC, are you ready for Crucian Gaming to be there for the whole 24 hours? He's a crazy man. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm ready for Crucian, obviously. I could spend days and nights with that guy, and we hang out at every event non-stop, so I'm used to being around him for long periods of time. What I'm not ready for is staying up for 24 hours. I don't remember the last time I stayed up for 24 hours straight. I think I must have been a young kid. Or maybe when Red Dead Redemption, the first one, came out. I think I might have just jammed that out
I think
for like 30 hours.
a good game comes out.
But I'm super excited. It's going to be a crazy event. I love all the stuff that we have planned. It's absolutely bonkers. I love raising money for charity and doing good stuff for the kids of St. Jude, so it's going to be a fun event. Like I said, we have so many prizes to give away also, so that's exciting. 2 Titan XPs, the Star Wars Edition Titan XPs, 2 8700 HQs. Are you smelling my armpits?
No.
2 8700Ks, sorry. 700K processors from Intel, 2 ADATA external SSDs, and a bunch of games, including Shroud of the Avatar, Conan Exiles. And I think we got some keys for Deadfire recently. Oh, baby, Pillars of Eternity 2? That's really exciting, too. Yeah, we're going to do karaoke, gaming. Crucian's going to be here. There's one, I know, I can fill you in on some of the donation goals. In fact, let me just announce it here first because we're going to put it up soon anyways. Now that I have you, so, some of the crazy things that we're doing. Let me scroll down here. We've got karaoke. We've got a GPU giveaway, SSD giveaways, CPU giveaways. We're going to do the voice changer stuff for certain donations. We're going to do a host and builder switch. So PJ is going to be building, so is Jerica. Once someone donates a certain amount, PJ and I will switch. So now he'll be hosting, I'll be building. At an even bigger donation goal, PJ's going to blindfold build a PC. So these are single donation goals. So whenever someone donates this amount, PJ's going to blindfold himself and continue building the PC for 5 minutes. Larger ones include personalized letters and signed posters from OrigInBC. An even bigger one is a swag pack with a signed poster and personalized letter from OrigInBC, as well as a slew of other goodies, including the St. Jude OrigInBC mouse mat that we're getting sent over by St. Jude Play Live. One of the early milestones, me, Jerica, Crucian, and PJ are going to eat a spoonful of G Fuel. That's exciting.
You're already coughing.
Yeah, I know. It's already hurting. Another point, I'm going to dye my beard red. Jerica's going to do that, of course. At one point, Kuzi and Crucian get a makeover, so Jerica's going to do our makeup, and we're in turn going to do her makeup.
Oh.
So that's going to be a ton of fun. That's going to be at one of the donation goals. Some of our stretch goals include the Ghost Pepper Challenge. So even though I said I'm never doing a Ghost Pepper again, I'm going to do one again if we reach one of the larger stretch goals. One of the also the larger ones is Koozie Go's mustache. So my red beard is going to be shaved down by Jerica into a handlebar mustache. It's going to be ridiculous. And then at the very end, if we reach our max donation stretch goal, we're going to do a random giveaway in chat where the winner is going to get an 8700K CPU, a Star Wars Edition Titan XP, an Origin PC swag pack, the Origin PC St. Jude mouse mat, probably another ADATA external SSD, a signed poster, and a personalized letter from Origin PC. So that's going to be extremely exciting. It's going to be a ton of giveaways. I cannot wait to do it. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thank you guys again for just donating in general, but we look forward to seeing you there for the 24-hour live stream. Now, Jesus, I'm sorry, Icarus, I totally took over that question of yours. Squatching Man asks, at Origin PC, at what point during the 24 hours do you need some kind of stimulant? I'm going to say it every 4 hours. I'm probably going to bring in, we have a mini fridge here, so I'm probably going to bring that in here. Maybe I'll just keep it in the conference room because we don't want too much noise in here for recording purposes. But I'm going to be stocked with Red Bulls. We're going to have healthy snacks. Healthy snacks, I hear, are important
like
for
bananas.
24 hours.
Yes.
Fruits, for sure. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, man. I don't think... I'm probably going to have a cot set up. Maybe we can, like, do 1 hour nap shifts.
I'm going to be building a laptop, like...
We're going to have to do something. Thank you for that question, Squatching Man. Fat as a can of corn asks, are the Chronos goods or the lower lines? I think is what you're asking. So is the Chronos good and so are the other lower lines. So yes, all of our systems from the Chronos to the Neuron to the Millennium to the Genesis can basically house the exact same parts. With the exception of the Chronos that can't do 2 GPUs at once, it could still do up to a Titan XP and up to the craziest CPU you can imagine. And it also has plenty of hard drive space. So yes, the Chronos is at Chronos. The Chronos is absolutely fantastic. It's perfect for someone that doesn't want a lot of space taken up because it's about the size of an Xbox. You can put it in your living room as a media center or a VR PC or just a family gaming PC. You can travel with it, put it in a backpack for like a LAN party. LAN parties, for those of you that are born after the year 2000, are back in before the days of internet or high-speed internet. A bunch of crazy nerds would get together in either a humongous warehouse, if it was a ton of us, or just at a friend's house, and we'd network our computers together to have very, very low ping while gaming with one another. That doesn't really happen too much anymore because high-speed internet makes it so you have low ping wherever you go. But there you go. Luvelli, what is up? Luvelli says hello. Hello to you, Luvelli. Good seeing you in chat. And that is it for the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in Ask Origin PC. Up next, once I pull up my script and I'm able to read, is Post of the Week. Let's announce the winner, shall we? Anytime now. There it is. And now for Post of the Week. Last week's topic was sometimes you need a co-op buddy for your adventures. Who's your co-op buddy, and what's your favorite adventure or story with them? We received several co-op stories, but we could only pick one. This one actually tugged at the heartstrings. It was absolutely beautiful. That would be DME Pepperoni via Twitter, who wrote, "My co-op buddy is my little brother. We had exciting times, especially when the controller wasn't connected and he thought he was playing."
Damn.
Hashtag Origin PC Live. I remember I would do that with my little cousins all the time, so that is beautiful. Congratulations, Daniel. Make sure to reach out to us to redeem your copy of Shroud of the Avatar. Shroud of the Avatar all over the place. We're throwing keys away. We're throwing keys at you. Shroud of the Avatar, which I cannot wait to play this weekend now after talking to Richard and Starr. I'm so looking forward to this. So, Jerica, what is next week's topic?
All right. Next week's topic is if you can bring back or save... Wait, if you can... Stop laughing at me.
I'm not. I was laughing at myself.
Or save a TV show, movie, or game successfully.
Oh, awesome.
What would it be and why? There's too many examples to list, but try to make a good case for your pick. Make sure to use the hashtag OriginPCLive with your response, and we'll be picking the post of the week for the next episode.
Yes, so we normally post that question on Twitter the following week, but if you guys have ideas now, don't hesitate. All you have to do is use the hashtag OriginPCLive and answer the question, and you will be eligible. Be creative, be funny, that helps, or be like super emotional like this last one that just kind of won me over. So that's it for the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Origin PC Live. Huge thank you to Richard and Starr for joining us. Those guys are my heroes, man. They created the game that made me a gamer.
I know,
to have them here,
fangirling.
I know, it's amazing. I love Ultima Online. It's like the game that started me in my PC gaming ventures. I don't think I'd be who I am without that game. So it's pretty awesome to have them on the show. Big thank you to them. Remember, next week is the 24-hour live stream, right? That's the 25th, yes? Yes, so next week, next Friday, we will be here for the 24-hour St. Jude Play Live Origin PC Live Build Extravaganza. It's going to be myself, Crucian Gaming, Jerica, and PJ. We're going to be building PCs. We're going to be doing karaoke, playing games, eating ghost peppers, chugging down G Fuel, whatever it is. It's going to be a ton of fun. We hope to see you all there. It's for a good cause. We're giving away a ton of prizes, so make sure to be there. It's probably going to be not on all the platforms. We're probably just going to do it on Twitch and Mixer. So make sure you're either on Twitch and Mixer during that time. Thank you guys again for hanging out. We love you. Have a fantastic weekend, and we shall see you next week. Follow Origin PC across all social media. And follow Jerica at @nano_kitten and myself at Kuziel if you want to see the stupid stuff that we post. We love you guys. Take it easy.
Took one look and now you stare at me the same. It took one look, but you play me like a game.